E3 here. Embodied, empowered, and ecstatic, just as things are. Some of you might know me as Ethan also, so thanks for your presence and your love and your support. So let's get right into some of the 11 foundational principles. Something that Emmanuel taught me many years ago, but I spent many years running away from them, and then finally integrating with them, and then the glioblastoma happened. So there are many. I want to live so I can write about the 11 foundational principles and help people use those tools to awaken to who they are and why they're here, and we could bring beauty to this world. But who knows how long I will live. But for now I'm alive, so let's get into some of the 11 foundational principles. You might be saying, well, what are you talking about? What are the 11 foundational principles? I haven't even been able to write about them because of the seizures, not being able to look at a computer screen when I had a computer before the apartment burned down, and haven't even, I've been wanting to write books about it. So I got a YouTube video here. Basically, I'll just go through. See, it would take 30 minutes just to describe all of them, and then I'd have to give explanations for each part of each principle. But so each have a unique vibration, like that we feel when we are connected to who we are and why we're here. I call that my unique vibration. That's the first foundational principle. They're not necessarily in order of importance. They're all kind of expressing the same thing, but they're just different aspects of it. So the first foundational principle, your unique vibration. 2, your unique flow state. 3, your unique life purpose. 4, awareness of the passive machine mind. Some people call that the ego. The active machine mind, you could call that your, when you consciously put a thought, an image, a feeling, or a sound into your consciousness deliberately, that's called the active machine mind. The living mind is when you're in your unique vibration, you're feeling your unique flow state, and you're in your unique life purpose. And your unique life purpose is an expression of how you share your unique vibration and flow state. Foundational principle number 5 is starting now, success now, feeling one's unique vibration now, acceptance of what is now, and then making that the starting point. Or you could say compassion also. That's a big part of foundational principle number 5, compassion for others, for ourselves, for the reality that we are in. There's so much pain now. It's like the left side of the body feels like it's getting more numb and turning off, and moving towards the heart a little bit too, that feeling. I don't know if it's pre-seizure, pre-stroke. I don't know. And the nurses, they don't really do anything. They come in, they check on me. They say, well, if you need anything, just let us know. And then they have this monitor on me to monitor my heart rate and my oxygen levels. So it's just very painful on the head. And the noticing it feels like the left side of the body is like turning off almost. I'm trying to stay positive and use my connection with Great Spirit to heal. But then also remaining neutral and noticing what's happening in the body. And this is what's happening. Okay, so that's foundational principle number 5. Presence, starting now, success now. Like just doing it, basically. That's what foundational principle number 5 is about. And all of these principles have to be adapted by you specifically. Otherwise, they're dead. They're not alive. But you bring life to them. You bring creativity to them. And they all help each other. For example, your unique vibration is what helps you start now and feel success now. The success is in your unique vibration. Like, it's super simple. It could take a while to like get there per se, but it's the vibration that's the success. Foundational principle number 6 is the My Truths Declaration. So these are truths that are true for you from your observation of your past, what works for you, what doesn't work for you, and what's true for you now, what dreams are still in your heart that you're projecting into the future. Those are your truths. It's very valuable information to have. Because if you know your truths declaration, you know how to activate your unique flow state. If you know what your truths declaration, or the My Truths Declaration is, you know what your life purpose is. And so you could see how these all affect each other. They're all just different expressions of the same thing. Foundational principle number 7, asking oneself, what do I have control over now? And also related to that is doing one's best to only allow energies in that support your unique vibration. So each of these principles can actually be a whole practice, a whole study for one's lifetime. I'm going through all of them, but they can support anything. You can apply them to your job, to your relationships, to your creative endeavors. Foundational principle number 5 also is about, I know I was just saying 7, but going back to 5, it's about, compassion for the human 3D experience. While we are unique vibrations from the unique vibration, the great unique vibration, aka God, Great Spirit, while we are your unique vibration, we're in a human 3D experience. And, well, related to that would be the passive machine mind. So the passive machine mind can fill up our consciousness, or the living mind, or the active machine mind. So now, as I'm in extreme pain and noticing the body sensations, doing my best to, I'm just looking at, this is my left arm, or left hand, finger, pointer finger. It's an interesting practice to notice the extreme pain and challenges and possible death soon. But then awareness of, is the passive machine mind filling up the consciousness, or is my unique vibration, is love? And then even when fear comes up, just being present with that too. So this is what I'm doing my best to practice. So foundational principle number 8, awareness of what blocks one's unique holy tri-state. So foundational principle number 1, 2, and 3 together are your unique holy tri-state. So that includes your unique vibration, your unique flow state, and your unique life purpose. That's your unique holy tri-state. That's your unique holy trinity. Your unique vibration, your unique flow state, and your unique life purpose. And all 3 of those are connected to God and to Great Spirit. So how do you feel God? It's actually very simple. Get into your unique flow state. And that requires facing a little bit of resistance, but then like going through it, and then you feel that vibration, you lose track of time and space and fear and all of that stuff. And I feel like that's the best way to feel God. It's a very, requires, like, you can't copy it from somebody else. How to get into your unique flow state. So there's so much more to talk about that. These 11 foundational principles, I want to share them with people and help people help themselves and help others, and apply these principles. I have applied them to different things I've studied, like dance and music and art. So they're tools, not just for philosophy, but you can use them to create and manifest. All right, so foundational principle number 8, awareness of what blocks one's unique vibration and what activates one's unique vibration. That's a valuable piece of information to have, that I believe it would be great if children, they inherently know it, but if we supported them in awareness of what works for them. So you see, all these 11 foundational principles can be applied to different situations, like education, every system in the world. Foundational principle number 9 is called focus jumping. It's something that we all do all day long. We can do it unconsciously, and that's when usually the passive machine mind is controlling where we're focusing. It's filling up our consciousness. And then there's not as much space for the active machine mind and the living mind. Foundational principle number, well, there's so much more to talk about, number 9, but let's get to 10. So in every moment, there are 5 energies available to each of us that we could fill up the present moment with. And the energies that we could fill up our consciousness with or move our consciousness through. And these energies are in no order of importance, but I'm just going to tell you the 5. So it's the first one, the body energy. 2 is the breath energy. 3 is one of the 3 minds that I listed earlier. So the passive machine mind, the active machine mind, and the living mind. The third energy is one of those minds that could fill up this moment. So literally right now, for you in this moment, your passive machine mind, active machine mind, or living mind could be filling up your consciousness. And I didn't mention that the passive machine mind could be internal or external. So right now, if you're just, and it's not necessarily a good or bad thing, but if you're just letting my words and images on this video come into your consciousness, that's the passive machine mind. But if while the passive machine mind energies are going into your consciousness and you're doing a mantra, so you're kind of doing both things at the same time, which is kind of a cool thing to do, to be able to activate your unique flow state. And that kind of relates to foundational principle number 9. You could focus jump, focusing on one thing and then the next. You could also focus layer. So you can, for example, you could be listening to music while you are also doing something with your body. You could do something with your body while you are manifesting a vision in your heart. Like, wouldn't it be cool if people in school were in their, well, not desks, but they'd be somewhere in the room doing physical practices, moving their body as they're learning. So not just sitting and like disconnecting from their body, but connecting with their body. It's kind of a separate issue, but that's an example of focus layering. And I found that that's a beautiful way to activate your unique vibration and flow state. Like, put your body in a certain movement or position or activity while you're using parts of your active machine mind and your living mind. And also you could add the breath to it, the 5 energies. You could add one or more of the 5 energies to any of the other foundational principles. Foundational principle number 11 is the 5 minutes of surrender. Could be 5 minutes, 5 seconds, 7 seconds, however long it takes you personally to activate your unique flow state. That's the foundational principle number 11. But actually it also, technically it just starts with one moment. But then that'll lead to another moment. And then eventually, and you have to see how long this is for you, you'll almost dissolve the passive machine mind. And then the living mind will fill up the space. You'll get into a flow state and you're good to go. And that's a valuable skill to develop. I believe it's a skill because we all have resistance and fears and a passive machine mind. So it's a skill to be able to develop that courage and that strength to take that first step. And then the second step, and however long it takes to get into your unique flow state and feel those living energies. So those are the 11 foundational principles in a nutshell. Like I said, I want to write about these things. And in order to do that, I have to be in this body that's alive. So that's my prayer. Oh, so yeah, I'm trying to stay connected to my unique vibration, stay connected to Emmanuel and God every step of the way. Because right now, it's a very multifaceted situation. Because the numbness on the left side and it's moving into the right side, and it feels like, I don't know if it's pre-seizure or pre-stroke, is increasing due to the tumor. So I was gonna start chemo today to slow down the tumor growth, but then I'm thinking, my body's so stressed out, I'm on antibiotics right now, so if I take chemo, that would probably require a lot of willpower just to stay alive. Then I'd have to rebuild after that. But then if I don't do chemo, will the tumor keep on growing and I'll notice more pain and numbness and whatever happens after that? And it's kind of a complicated situation, but I know somebody who might have ozone intravenously. So, but I don't know how effective that is for the glioblastoma right now. Like, in theory, I could be discharged from the hospital tomorrow if I want, go to that location, begin the ozone, but I'm waiting to hear back from that person, get the full details. And then many other things that are happening. But even as I'm sharing this, I'm choosing to be present. And right now, I'm pretty much at the point where I'm just staying at the hospital. I'm not going to start chemo right away. And so even right now, like this is my reality, like how I experience life. Even right now, is your passive machine mind filling up your space? Active machine mind, living mind? It's a cool skill to have when in all interactions, in all situations, constantly checking in from the internal to the external. And I believe that's where the psychic communication can happen, when you're aware of these different things, and then you can move into the third energy that I mentioned before in the foundational principle number 10 of the body, the breath, the stillness, or the receptivity or listening. That's the third energy, or I'm sorry, that's the fourth energy. So it's a good skill to be able to move into and actually imagine filling up the space with listening or receptivity. So that's an actual energy in and of itself. So yeah, these practices, at first they take time to practice. You have to build up endurance in the consciousness and the mind, but eventually you could stay connected to these 11 foundational principles all day long. And then also it's kind of a paradox because all of us have limitations. Oh, and the phone is running out of camera time, so E3 here, wishing you well. Thank you for your love and your prayers.